parabolas. So our objective for this video, we want to recognize characteristics of parabolas. So let's talk a little bit about what we already know that will assist us here. We already know what a quadratic function is. It is any function of the form f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are real numbers, and a cannot be 0 because you need to have an x squared term. A quadratic function is a second-degree polynomial. So what's a parabola? Let's come on down here, we'll take a look. A parabola is simply the graph of any quadratic function. So every single quadratic will graph as a parabola. It is shaped like a bowl or an upside down bowl. So down here at the bottom, here's a bowl shape, and here's an upside down bowl. If a, which is the coefficient of the x squared term, let me come back up here. The coefficient of the x squared term is a. If a is positive, then the parabola opens upward. So come back to here. This parabola opens upward, and that means that the a, whoops, I can circle that better than I just did. That means that the a is positive. If the coefficient of the x squared term is negative, the parabola will open downward. And here is the downward opening parabola opening down. And this tells us the a, the coefficient of the x squared term, tells us that. All parabolas are symmetric with respect to a vertical line. This vertical line has the equation x equals something. It could be x equals, for example, 2 here. Perhaps this is x equals 3. It could be x equals a negative. It could be the y-axis, which is x equals 0. But they are all symmetric with respect to a vertical line, which is also called the axis of symmetry. And finally, it has a vertex. So as it turns from going down to back up, or from going up to back down, the place where it turns is called the place where it turns is called the vertex. Well, if the parabola opens up, in other words, if the leading coefficient of the x squared term is positive, then the vertex is a minimum point. It opens up, so our turning point is at the bottom. And similarly, the vertex is a maximum if it opens down. If the coefficient of the x squared term is negative, it opens down, and we have a turning point, which is a maximum point as we look at it here in the y direction. So there you have it. Some information about the graphs of quadratics that are called parabolas.